Be me, 29F, Masters in Organizational Psychology, graduated summa cum laude, spent the last 4 years working at a nonprofit in DC. It was fulfilling in a spiritual sense, but the pay was peanuts. Wanted to get into the private sector, wanted to go into the belly of the beast. Land a director-level role at a Series C fintech startup in San Francisco. Title, Director of People, Culture and Belonging. Salary, $185K base plus significant equity. The mandate from the founder, Kyle. Kyle is 32, wears Allbirds and Patagonia vests, desperately wants to be liked. During the interview, he literally held my hand. Claire, he said, eyes wide and pleading, we have the product, we have the market fit, but the culture, it's stuck in 2010. We need to mature. We need to be inclusive. I told him exactly what he wanted to hear. You don't need a manager, Kyle. You need a gardener. I'm going to prune the weeds so the flowers can grow. He hired me on the spot. I am ready to save these men from themselves. Day one, walk into the office. It's a converted warehouse in Soma. Open floor plan, standing desks. $15,000 La Marzocco espresso machine in the kitchen, and the silence. It hits me like a physical wall the second I step off the elevator. There are 60 people in this room, and you could hear a pin drop. Just the relentless rhythmic sound of mechanical keyboards. It sounds like a firing squad. I look around the sea of desks. 90% men, mostly white and Asian. Zero diversity in leadership roles. Everyone is wearing noise-cancelling headphones. Sony, Bose, Sennheiser, they are locked in. Isolated. Completely atomized. I walked to my glass-walled office in the corner. I requested it be renamed The Sanctuary instead of HR Office. Set up my Himalayan salt lamp, my succulents, my safe space placard. Spend the first week just auditing the vibes. It's worse than I thought. Communication is entirely nonverbal. They use Slack for everything. Literally sitting next to each other and messaging on Slack. I watch two guys in the dev pit. One drops a pen. The guy next to him picks it up, hands it back. Neither of them says a word, just a nod. This is deeply pathological, social fragmentation at its peak. I start mapping out the power structures. Kyle is the CEO on paper, but he's weak. He walks around nervously, asking if people need anything, and they mostly ignore him or give one-word answers. The real power lies in the engineering pit, specifically the back-end infrastructure team. And at the center of that black hole is him. Enter David, 44M, Principal Systems Architect. Been with the company since it was 3 guys in a garage in Palo Alto. He looks like a wizard who got lost in a server room and decided to stay. Long graying hair tied back in a messy utilitarian ponytail. Beard that hasn't seen a trim in months. Wears faded black t-shirts from obscure Linux conferences. He sits in the darkest corner of the office. 4 monitors arranged in a semicircle around him like a fortress. Vertical screens filled with cascading green and white text. He doesn't type. He plays the keyboard like a piano. Fast, rhythmic, aggressive bursts of activity, followed by intense staring. I watch him from my glass cage. People approach him like pilgrims visiting a dangerous oracle. A junior dev walks up, stands respectfully behind David's chair, waits for a solid minute. David doesn't turn around. Junior dev finally clears his throat, terrified. Hey David? Sorry to interrupt. David finishes a line of code, hits enter with a loud thwack, spins his chair around slowly, face completely void of emotion. What breaks? He asks. Nothing broke, the kid stammers. The API latency is spiking on the West Coast node. I thought you should know. David sighs, a long heavy exhale through his nose. He turns back to his screens without saying a word. Types 3 commands. I know, he says to the screen. Garbage collection on the cache cluster was thrashing. I pushed a hotfix 2 minutes ago. Restart the pods and get out of here. Oh, okay. Thanks, David. David puts his headphones back on. Interaction over. No, how are you? No good catch, sport. No eye contact. Just a cold, efficient transaction. I feel a shiver of disgust run down my spine. This man is the bottleneck of human connection in this company. He creates a dependency where he is the god and everyone else is a supplicant. I decide right then, he is my project. He is the dragon I have to slay to save the village. Month 2, I launch my first major initiative. Connect and reflect. Mandatory 9 a.m. stand-up for the entire company. Not to talk about work tasks, but to talk about feelings and intentions. Icebreaker questions like, what color is your mood today? The first session is a disaster. The sales team is into it. The engineering team looks like they are at a funeral execution. I hold the talking stick, a plush microbe doll I bought on Etsy. Okay, I say, beaming at them. Let's start with engineering. David, what is your intention for the week? David is looking at his phone, scrolling through what looks like server logs. David, I say, sharpening my tone slightly. We're waiting. He looks up, slow blink. My intention, he says, voice flat, is to migrate the Postgres database to the new AWS instance before the disk runs out of space. If I don't do that, the platform crashes and nobody gets paid. Dead silence. That's a task, David, I say, keeping my smile fixed. I'm asking for an intention, a state of being. How do you want to feel while doing that? He stares at me. I want to feel efficient, he says. And currently, I feel delayed. A few of the junior devs snicker into their hands. I smile, but inside I am screaming. Okay, I say. Let's unpack that defensiveness later. Let's move on to Sophia. I point to a junior front-end dev. Sophia, how do you feel? Sophia looks at David, then back at me, terrified. I guess I feel efficient too, she whispers. They are mimicking him. He sets the tone. He validates their emotional stuntedness. I realize I can't win in a group setting yet. I need to isolate him. I need to break the spell. I start scheduling one-on-ones with his team members, supposedly for career pathing and retention interviews, really for gathering intel to build a case. I meet with Mike first. Mike is 26, senior dev, clearly looks up to David like a father figure. I get him a coffee, try to be the cool mom. So Mike, I say, leaning in, tell me about the team dynamic. Do you feel heard here? Yeah, it's great, Mike says, sipping his latte. We ship code fast. No bureaucracy, it's pure. And David? I probe. How is his management style? Does he give you space to grow? David? Mike laughs. He's a genius. Seriously. He built the custom load balancer from scratch in a weekend because the commercial ones were too slow. I learned more from reading his code in 6 months than I did in 4 years of CS degree. But does he support you? Emotionally? Mike looks confused, like I asked him if David cuts his hair. He buys us pizza when we do late deploys, Mike says. And once, when I messed up a migration and deleted a customer table, I thought I was dead. I thought I was fired. Did he yell at you? I ask, pen hovering over my notebook. No. Mike shakes his head. He just sat down next to me, didn't say a word. We spent 6 hours restoring it from the binary logs. He stayed until 4 a.m. with me. He didn't even tell Kyle I messed up. He just fixed it. So he covers up mistakes, I ask. No, he fixed it. He taught me how to fix it. He's the best. This is classic Stockholm syndrome. They mistake his technical competence for benevolence. They think because he saves them from technical errors, he cares about them as humans. But it's transactional. He just wants the machine to work. He views them as components of the machine. It's dehumanizing. I write in my notebook. Team exhibits cult-like devotion to toxic leader. Lack of psychological safety disguised as meritocracy. Month 3, I decide to escalate. I convince Kyle that we need to overhaul our performance review system. Old system was binary. Did you ship the features? Did the code break? New system, the 360-degree holistic impact score. 50% of the score is based on cultural add, vibe alignment, and emotional intelligence. I present this at the all-hands meeting. I have slides prepared with stock photos of diverse smiling people pointing at whiteboards. David is in the back of the room, laptop open on his knees, typing furiously. I stop the presentation. David, I say into the microphone. He keeps typing. David, I say louder. He stops, fingers hovering over the keys. Yes? Can you close the laptop? This is critical company strategy. We need everyone present. I'm monitoring the deployment pipeline, he says, not looking up. The build is flaky today. If I close this, I can't see the error logs. The build can wait, I say, putting my hands on my hips. Culture cannot, he sighs. It is the loudest, most weary sigh I have ever heard. It sucks the air out of the room. He closes the laptop with a loud snap. Proceed, he says. The disrespect is palpable. He is signaling to everyone that I am a waste of time, that HR is a joke. I finish the presentation, but I'm shaking with rage. I go to Kyle's office immediately afterward. He has to go on a PIP, I tell him. Performance improvement plan. Kyle looks pale. Who? David? Kyle stammers. Claire. He's the architect. He knows where all the bodies are buried. We can't put the architect on a PIP. He is cancer, Kyle, I say, leaning over his desk. A malignant tumor. He is actively undermining your authority and my initiatives. If we don't correct his behavior, we will never attract top talent. Do you want to be a frat house or a Fortune 500 company? Kyle rubs his face, looking trapped. Okay, he whispers, but be gentle. Make it about soft skills. Don't make him angry. Weak men make me sick. But I get the signature, the PIP meeting. I call David into the sanctuary 2 days later. I have a witness. My new HR coordinator, Jessica. Jessica is 22, fresh out of college, wears cardigans, terrified of everything. David sits down, slouches immediately, arms crossed over his chest, defensive posture. David, I start, clasping my hands. We're putting you on a performance improvement plan. David raises one bushy eyebrow. My uptime was 99.99% last quarter, he says calmly. I delivered the GraphQL migration 2 weeks early. What is the performance issue? Performance isn't just code, David, I explain gently. It's how you show up. It's your energy. We've had reports of approachability issues. Reports from who? It's anonymous. But the consensus is that you are closed off, dismissive, and intimidating. I am the lead engineer, he says, leaning forward. My job is to ensure the system is stable and scalable. Sometimes that means saying no to bad ideas. If that is intimidating, then the ideas should be better. That right there, I point at him. That arrogance. You think you're the arbiter of truth. We value yes and thinking here. We value collaboration. Engineering is binary, Claire, he says, voice low. It works or it fails. Yes and doesn't work when you're dealing with memory leaks. The compiler doesn't care about your feelings. You have 30 days, I tell him, ignoring his logic. You need to attend all social events. You need to mentor a junior dev on soft skills specifically. And you need to stop wearing headphones during core hours. We need you present. David looks at me. His eyes are dark, tired, deep. He looks like he's looking at a child who just spilled milk on a rug. Fine, he says. Is that all? Sign here. He signs the paper without reading it, walks out. I feel a rush of power. I have him on paper now. The countdown begins. The improvement period? It's malicious compliance. He comes to the Waffle Wednesday social hour, stands in the corner holding a plate with one waffle on it, stares at the wall. He takes off the headphones, but he puts in earplugs, bright orange foam earplugs. I walk by his desk. David, I say, earplugs? You said no headphones, he replies, voice loud because his ears are plugged. The ambient noise helps me focus. You didn't say no earplugs. It's a game to him. But the team is suffering. I can see it. They are confused. Mike comes to me a week later. Hey Claire, he says, looking nervous. Is David okay? He's acting weird. He won't review my code anymore. He says he has to focus on his smile. He's working on his leadership style, Mike, I assure him. It's a growth opportunity for you to review your own code. Take ownership. Mike looks panicked. But I don't know if it's secure, he says. I need his eyes on it. The auth logic is tricky. Trust yourself, Mike, I say, patting his arm. Imposter syndrome is real. You are enough. Mike leaves looking like he's about to vomit. Good. Growth is uncomfortable. They need to be weaned off the teat of David's competence. Day 29. The incident. We have a critical client demo. Big enterprise contract on the line. Huge revenue boost. Kyle is presenting to the clients in the main conference room. The demo environment crashes. Spinning wheel of death on the big screen. Kyle freezes on stage. Everyone looks at David through the glass walls of the conference room. David is sitting in the back, hands on his lap, looking at the ceiling tiles. Kyle opens the door. David? He calls out, voice cracking. Any insights? David doesn't move. I'm in listening mode today, Kyle, David says loud enough for the clients to hear. I don't want to overstep and impose my technical privilege. I'm practicing active waiting. The room goes silent. Kyle is sweating profusely. David, please, Kyle begs. Just fix it. David sighs, walks to a terminal, types 3 commands. System is back up in 10 seconds. He walks back to his seat. You had a race condition in the demo script, he says flatly. I told you about it last week. You ignored the ticket. He humiliated the CEO, he humiliated the company, but most of all, he mocked me. He used my own language against the company. This is war. I go to Kyle immediately after the clients leave. He sabotaged the demo, I tell him. He fixed the demo, Kyle says, head in his hands. He let it break. I scream. He knew it would break and he watched it happen. That is active hostility. That is negative energy weaponized. He has to go. Today. Kyle is broken. He knows he looked like an idiot. Okay, Kyle whispers. Do it. I can't look at him right now. The termination, Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. I summon David to the sanctuary. He walks in. David, I say, keeping my voice icy. Today is your last day. He doesn't blink. He doesn't flinch. Okay, he says. We haven't seen the cultural shift we asked for, and the stunt at the demo was unacceptable. You are not a culture fit for Nebula. I built Nebula, he says. You built the code, I correct him. We are building a company. They are different things. David leans forward. Do you know what the bus factor is, Claire? He asks. I don't care about your technical jargon, I snap. Please hand over your badge and laptop. David pulls a small USB key from his pocket, places it on the desk with a click. This contains the encryption keys for the production database backups, he says. I am the only one who has them. I suggest you give them to Mike immediately. We will handle the transition, I say, grabbing the key. Goodbye, David. He stands up. He looks around the office through the glass walls, takes a deep breath. I warned you about the memory leak in the Redis cluster, he says softly. It triggers when traffic hits 10K requests per second. It's going to hit that on Monday morning. Stop trying to scare us, I say. We have a team of 20 engineers. They can handle a memory leak. David smiles, a genuine sad smile. Good luck, he says. He walks out. He doesn't say goodbye to anyone, just walks to the elevator, presses the button, and vanishes. I feel a surge of triumph. I did it. The announcement. 5 p.m. All hands. I gather everyone in the main area. Hi, team, I say into the mic. I have some news. As of today, David is no longer with Nebula. Gasps. Actual audible gasps from the room. Mike stands up, chair scraping loudly. David quit? He asks. Before the Black Friday launch. We decided to part ways, I say, smiling benevolently. It was a mutual decision regarding cultural alignment. Cultural alignment? Mike shouts. He is the culture. He's the only one who knows how the payment gateway works. Mike, I say soothingly, this is your chance to step up. We are removing the ceiling. Now you can all shine. I look around for the shining faces. I see terror. I see people looking at their phones. I see Slack notifications blowing up on every screen in the room. Let's grab drinks. I cheer. On the company. Happy hour starts now. Nobody moves. Eventually they shuffle out. The vibe is funeral-esque. Whatever, change is hard. They'll thank me in a month when the air is lighter. The weekend. I spend the weekend at a spa in Napa. Treat myself to a mud bath and a massage. I deserve it. I check my work email on Sunday night. Weird. No emails. Usually, I get automated reports or questions. It's dead silent. I sleep peacefully, dreaming of a harmonious workplace. Monday morning. I walk in at 9:30 a.m., matcha latte in hand, ready to lead. The office is empty. Not quiet. Empty. The engineering pit is a ghost town. Desks are cleared. I run to Mike's desk. His mechanical keyboard is gone. His lucky anime figurine is gone. There is a sticky note on his monitor. I can't fix what I don't understand. And I don't want to understand a company that fires its architect. I quit. I run to Sophia's desk. Note. I'm scared to touch the code without David. I'm sorry. I resign. I check my inbox. 18 resignations. Received between Saturday morning and Sunday night. It was coordinated. A mass walkout. I rush to Kyle's office. He is on the floor, literally on the floor, sitting under his desk, rocking back and forth. Kyle, I say, what's going on? Kyle holds up his phone, screen glowing in the dim light. The site is down, he whispers. It went down at 8 a.m. Well, get the agency on it, I say. Get the freelancers. Kyle laughs. A manic, hysterical laugh that makes me step back. I called the agency, he says. They asked for the documentation. We don't have documentation. David was the documentation. We have that USB key, I shout. He gave me a USB key. I run to my office, grab the USB key, plug it into my laptop. It prompts for a password. It's encrypted. I call David's number. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. He changed his number. He ghosted us. I look at the big dashboard screen on the wall. Slack is exploding with alerts from the automated bots. Critical, Redis cluster failure. Critical, database connection refused. Critical, 502 bad gateway. It's a symphony of destruction. By noon, the major customers are calling. CEOs of banks, angry. We are losing millions every hour. Kyle is vomiting in the bathroom. I try to take charge. I call a meeting with the sales team, the only ones left. Okay, I say, clapping my hands. We need to manage the narrative. We tell them it's a scheduled maintenance upgrade to improve inclusivity in the algorithm. The head of sales looks at me like I'm insane. Claire, he says, are you on drugs? The site is dead. I'm losing my commissions. I'm leaving. He walks out. The other two sales guys follow him. Now it's just me, Kyle, and the office manager. And the succulents. Tuesday, stock drops 60% on the private secondary market. TechCrunch runs an article. How a culture purge destroyed a unicorn. My name is mentioned. Anonymous sources. Probably Mike. Detailed the PIP. Detailed the smile frequency comments. The internet is roasting me. Twitter threads analyzing my thesis. Calling me the Grim Reaper of SaaS. I lock my social media. I sit in my glass office, watching the servers blink red on the dashboard. Wednesday, Kyle comes out of his office. He looks 10 years older, shirt stained, eyes red. We're filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, he says. Investors pulled the plug. No one wants to buy the IP because no one understands the code. We can pivot, I say desperately. We can focus on consulting, HR consulting. Get out, Kyle says. Excuse me? You're fired, he says, voice trembling, for cause. Gross incompetence, negligence, stupidity. I followed the handbook, I scream. I prioritized culture. Kyle grabs a stapler and throws it at the wall. It smashes into pieces. You fired the engine because it was too loud, he screams. Get out. I pack my box, my salt lamp, my vulnerability is strength poster. I walk out of the silent warehouse. The silence is different now. It's not focused. It's dead. It's the silence of a graveyard. 3 months later, I'm living back in my parents' basement. SF rent burned through my savings in a month. I can't get an interview. I'm blacklisted in the valley. Recruiters hang up when they hear my name. I'm working part-time as a receptionist at a dentist's office. Minimum wage. One day, I'm scrolling LinkedIn on my lunch break. I see a post. It's a picture of a new startup. Founder, David. The photo is of the team in a garage. It's Mike's, Sophia, Jessica, my HR coordinator, and the rest of the engineering team. They are eating pizza, wearing hoodies. David is smiling. Actually smiling. He's holding a beer. Caption, first month of my company. 100% uptime. Just code and vibes. They got funded by our old investors. They essentially rebuilt Nebula but without the overhead, without the HR, without me. I zoom in on the photo. Jessica is wearing a t-shirt that says, no PIPs, just ships. I feel a lump in my throat. Tears sting my eyes. I read the comments. Congrats, David. Best boss I ever had. Mike. Finally a place where we can just work. Sophia. I put my phone down. I look at the dental scheduling software on my screen. It's clunky, ugly, grey. I click a button and it freezes. Not responding. I sigh. I stare at the frozen screen. And for the first time in my life, I wish I knew how to fix it. I wish I was useful. But I'm just the person who tells the people who fix things to smile more. I close my eyes and I listen to the drill buzzing in the next room. It sounds like a server fan. I miss it.